I am standing alone at the airport with 2 suitcases watching my wife Sarah laugh loudly with 6 of her friends. Just 2 weeks ago she told me she wanted our honeymoon to be special, just the 2 of us. But right now, Sarah is taking selfies with her squad while I stand on the sidelines like a stranger at someone else's party. I am confused, a little hurt, but I am still trying to convince myself that maybe this is just a small surprise, something that will make sense soon. I have no idea this would be the moment everything changed. Before I tell you what happened next, I would love to know where you are watching from. Drop your location in the comments below. If you have ever felt like a stranger in your own relationship, hit that like button. You are not alone. And subscribe, because this story gets way more complicated than I ever imagined. Now let me take you back to 3 weeks before this airport disaster. I met Sarah 3 years ago at a coffee shop in Seattle. It was one of those rainy October mornings where the city smelled like wet pavement and espresso. She was sitting by the window, laptop open, typing furiously with this intense focus that made me curious. When she looked up and smiled at me, I was done for. Sarah was everything I was not. Energetic, outgoing, always the center of attention at any gathering. She worked in marketing for a fashion company, and she had this way of making everything sound exciting. I am a software engineer, quieter, more comfortable with code than crowds. I always thought we balanced each other out. She brought spontaneity into my structured life. I brought calm into her chaos, or at least that is what I told myself. We got engaged after 2 years of dating. The proposal was simple on a hiking trail overlooking Mount Rainier. Sarah cried happy tears, and I felt like the luckiest guy alive. Then came the wedding planning, and I started to see glimpses of something I had been ignoring. Sarah cared a lot about how things looked, not just looked to us, but looked to other people. Every decision about the wedding had to be Instagram-worthy. The flowers, the venue, the dress, even the font on the invitations. But I brushed it off. Everyone wants their wedding to be special, right? What I really cared about was the honeymoon. I had been saving for a year. I worked overtime for 6 straight months, skipped lunches, outcooked at home every night, just to put away money. $12,000. That was what I had saved dollar by dollar for 2 weeks in paradise with my new wife. I researched everything. I found this incredible oceanfront villa in Maui, Hawaii. It had a private infinity pool, floor-to-ceiling windows looking out at the Pacific, and a king bed draped in white linens that looked like something from a dream. The package included 7 nights in Maui, then 7 nights in Kauai. Sunset cruises, couples, massages, hiking trails through rainforests, private dinners on the beach under the stars. I showed Sarah all the brochures, pulled up the website on my laptop, walked her through every detail. Her reaction made everything worth it. "Baby, this looks amazing," she said, wrapping her arms around my neck. "Just you and me finally." I asked her if she was sure, if maybe she wanted something more adventurous, maybe Europe or an African safari. She shook her head. "No, I need this," she said. "Just us. No distractions." I felt this wave of relief. We were on the same page. I paid the full deposit that week, $5,000 non-refundable. The resort confirmed our reservation for 2 people, Mr. and Mrs. Stephen Mitchell, they wrote. Wait, I cannot use Mitchell. Let me use another last name. Mr. and Mrs. Stephen Parker. The confirmation email sat in my inbox like a promise. 2 weeks before the wedding, I started noticing something odd. Sarah was on her phone constantly. More than usual. She would be texting at dinner, during movies, even when we were supposed to be doing wedding stuff together. One night I woke up at 2 in the morning, and the bed beside me was glowing blue. Sarah was sitting up, phone in hand, grinning at the screen. "Everything okay, babe?" I asked, my voice thick with sleep. She jumped a little, like she had forgotten I was there. "Yeah," she said quickly, turning the phone face down. "Just the girls being silly. Wedding stuff." I wanted to ask more, but I was tired, and I trusted her completely. That was my first mistake. 3 days before the wedding, while we were packing for the honeymoon, Sarah dropped a bomb so casually that I almost missed it. So she said, folding a sundress into her suitcase, "Do not freak out," but I invited some people to join us for part of the honeymoon. I looked up from my own suitcase. Some people I was thinking maybe her parents might stop by for a day, grab lunch with us or something. That would be fine. A little weird, but fine. Sarah kept folding clothes, not meeting my eyes. "Jessica, Amanda, Brittany, Kyle, Derek, and Megan," she said. "They are coming for the whole trip." I felt like someone had punched me in the stomach. Wait, what? Our honeymoon. All 14 days. She finally looked at me, and there was this defensive edge to her expression, already like she was preparing for a fight. "They have been begging to visit Hawaii," she said. "We can still have romantic time. It will be fun, like a group vacation. Plus, they are splitting some costs with us." She did not say how much they were splitting or what costs she meant. My mind was racing. "Sarah," I said, trying to keep my voice steady, "I saved for a year for this trip. For us. Not for a group hangout. I already paid for everything. There is no room for 6 more people at our villa. This is supposed to be our time." Her face changed instantly. "You are being selfish," she snapped. "They are my best friends. Why cannot you be more social? We are still going together. Are we not God? I thought you would be happy for me." Every sentence felt like a slap. I tried to explain. I told her I had already paid for a romantic villa designed for 2 people, that I had planned activities for a couple, that this was supposed to be about us starting our marriage together. But she kept twisting it, making me sound like the bad guy for wanting my own honeymoon to be about my wife and me. The wedding was in 3 days. Guests were flying in. I did not want to cause a scene, did not want to start our marriage with a huge fight. So, I made a mistake. "Fine," I said. "But we need to talk about boundaries when we get there." Sarah brightened immediately. "Of course, baby," she said, kissing my cheek. "I promise it will be perfect." It was not perfect. The airport was chaos. Sarah's 6 friends showed up with enough luggage for a month-long trip. Jessica was Sarah's best friend from college, an influencer with 40,000 Instagram followers who documented every moment of her life. Amanda was a travel blogger, always hunting for content. Brittany was a photographer, the unofficial documentarian of the group. Kyle was a stylist, flamboyant, and loud, always ready with commentary. Derek was Jessica's boyfriend, a videographer who never put his camera down. And Megan was Sarah's 22-year-old sister, still in college, who treated everything like a party. From the moment we met at the gate, I felt invisible. Jessica and Amanda immediately started posing for selfies. "Honeymoon squad," they kept chanting. Sarah joined them, tilting her head, pouting her lips, doing all the poses she had clearly practiced. I stood a few feet away, holding my carry-on, waiting for someone to remember I existed. Brittany noticed me eventually. "Sarah, stand closer to Jessica," she directed. "Stephen, can you hold our bags?" "Just for a second while we get this shot." A second turned into 10 minutes. I stood there holding 4 bags that were not mine while they cycled through poses. At the gate, there were not enough seats together. Sarah sat with Jessica and Amanda. I sat 3 rows away by myself. On the plane, same thing. I was in row 17. Sarah was in row 12, middle seat between her 2 best friends. The entire 5-hour flight, she did not turn around once. I could hear them laughing, shrieking about something on someone's phone. I put in my headphones and stared out the window, watching the ocean get closer, wondering what I had agreed to. When we landed in Maui, I felt a tiny spark of hope. Maybe once we got to the resort, once Sarah saw how beautiful it was, things would shift. We would have our villa, our private space, and her friends would do their own thing. That hope died at the check-in desk. "Mr. Parker," the front desk clerk said, smiling warmly. "Welcome. We have your oceanfront villa ready for you and Mrs. Parker." 2 guests. Jessica pushed forward. "Cannot you just add more rooms? We will pay." The clerk's smile faltered. "I am sorry, we are fully booked." There was a pause. Then Sarah turned to me, and her expression was cold. "You did not book rooms for my friends?" I felt 7 pairs of eyes on me. What I said. "I booked our honeymoon. You said they were splitting costs, But you never told me I had to arrange their rooms. Sarah's voice got louder. You are so inconsiderate. You knew they were coming. This is embarrassing. Jessica jumped in. Wow, Stephen. Really? On your honeymoon? Amanda nodded. That is pretty harsh. I tried to explain, but I was outnumbered. Kyle rolled his eyes. Typical, he muttered. The clerk looked deeply uncomfortable. I wanted to disappear. Eventually, Jessica found another resort on her phone. 3 miles away, closer to the public beach, cheaper with availability. Sarah announced she was going with them to make sure they got settled. I will be back tonight, she said, not looking at me. The group left in 2 Ubers. I stood in the lobby of my expensive romantic resort alone, holding both our suitcases. The villa was gorgeous, everything I had dreamed of. Sunset that first evening, I sat on the terrace watching the sky turn orange and pink. The resort had a special dinner reservation for 2 a table on the beach with candles and flowers. I went alone. The server, a kind woman in her 50s, asked where my beautiful bride was. She is with friends, I said. The server did not say anything, but I saw the pity in her eyes. I ate macadamia-crusted fish and drank wine by myself, while couples around me held hands and fed each other dessert. I texted Sarah, "When are you coming back?" Her response came an hour later. "They need me. Tomorrow we will have time. Promise." She did not come back that night. I woke up the next morning in that big white bed alone. The other side was untouched. I called Sarah. She answered on the 5th ring voice, groggy. "I fell asleep at their resort," she said. We stayed up late catching up. I felt anger rising in my chest. "Sarah, this is our honeymoon. Stop being so needy," she snapped. "Come join us at the beach." Then she hung up. I drove to the public beach where they were staying. It was crowded, loud, nothing like the private paradise I had booked. I found them easily. They were impossible to miss. Jessica and Amanda were posing in matching bikinis, while Brittany crouched in the sand, camera clicking. Kyle was adjusting Sarah's hair, fluffing it, spritzing something on it. Derek had a video camera on a tripod filming everything for TikTok. Megan was playing beach volleyball with some random guys she had just met. Sarah saw me walking up. "Oh, this is Stephen," she said to the group. "My husband, not my new husband. Ooh. Not the love of my life, just Stephen, my husband," like I was an acquaintance. There was no kiss, no hug, no acknowledgement that we were supposed to be on our honeymoon. Amanda looked up from her phone. "Stephen, can you get us more drinks from the bar?" "And sunscreen," Jessica added. "SPF 50, not 30. I became the errand boy. That was day 2. Day 3 and 4 were worse. I tried to create moments for just Sarah and me. I had booked a couple's massage at a spa known for its ocean view treatment rooms. When I reminded Sarah, she said, "Let us all go together. The girls would love it." The massage turned into a group session. Instead of relaxing music and silence, I listened to them gossip about people I did not know. I lay on that table face in the cradle and felt completely alone despite being surrounded by people. Dinner reservations at a romantic restaurant, Sarah canceled them. "We are doing group dinner at Derek's resort," she announced. Group dinner meant I sat at the end of a long table while everyone else talked over me. Every dish had to be photographed from 5 different angles before anyone could eat. Sarah sat between Jessica and Kyle, laughing at inside jokes, tagging the restaurant on Instagram, doing everything except acknowledging her husband. Day 5 broke me. I had booked a sunrise hike just for Sarah and me. I set an alarm for 5:30 in the morning, got dressed in the dark, then gently shook Sarah awake. "Babe, we have the hike," she groaned. "I am too tired." Jessica and I were up till 3 planning tomorrow's photo shoot. She rolled over, pulling the blanket over her head. I stood there for a moment looking at her, back then left. I did the hike alone. At the top, watching the sun rise over the Pacific, I cried for the first time since the wedding. I was on my honeymoon, and I had never felt more alone in my life. Day 6, I made a decision. I went back to our villa, the one I had paid for the one Sarah had barely seen. I texted her, "I will be at our villa. if you want to spend time together. Her response was one letter, K. That afternoon I opened Facebook to distract myself. Big mistake. Jessica had posted a status. When your bestie's husband abandons her on their honeymoon, real men support their wives' friendships. #honeymoon squad. #true colors. The post had over 200 likes. Under it, Sarah had commented, "Thanks, babe. I do not know why he is being like this." My blood went cold. I scrolled down. Amanda had posted an Instagram story. I clicked on it. Video of Sarah crying on the beach, mascara running. Caption read, "She planned the perfect honeymoon, and he ditched her." I could not breathe. I opened Sarah's Instagram. She had posted to her story, too, a photo of herself looking sad sitting alone on the sand. Text overlay, "When you realize you married the wrong person." Broken heart emoji. The comments were flooded. "Oh my God, what happened? Are you okay? He does not deserve you. Girl, leave him." I sat on the edge of the bed, phone shaking in my hand. She was telling everyone I abandoned her. Me, the person who saved for a year, the person who paid $12,000, the person who had been sitting alone in a honeymoon villa for 6 days while she partied with her friends. She was painting herself as the victim, and everyone believed her. I did not sleep that night. I sat in that villa staring at the ocean, and something shifted inside me. I was done being the quiet, understanding husband. I was done letting Sarah control the narrative. I was done being made into the villain of a story I did not write. I had two choices. I could confront her directly, cause a scene, and watch her twist everything in front of her friends. Or I could let the evidence speak for itself. I chose the second option. First, I took screenshots. Every text message between Sarah and me where I asked to spend time together, and she refused. Every message where I suggested couples activities, and she turned them into group events. Every time I asked when she was coming back to the villa, and she dodged the question. I saved them all. Then I went through my email. I found the booking confirmation from 4 months ago. Oceanfront villa for 2 guests, Mr. and Mrs. Stephen Parker. Check-in, May 15th. I found the email chain from 3 months prior where Sarah and I discussed the trip. Her exact words, "I cannot wait. Just us two." Finally, some peace. I downloaded my bank statements showing I paid $12,000 from my personal savings account. Then I screenshot the social media posts. Jessica's status calling me out. Amanda's story with Sarah crying. Sarah's Instagram post about marrying the wrong person. Every comment calling me a terrible husband. I saved everything to the cloud and emailed copies to myself. Then I called my lawyer brother, not for legal advice, just to tell someone the truth who I knew would believe me. He listened, then said, "Stephen, you need to protect yourself. Document everything. I already am," I told him. Next, I made a phone call to a different resort, Honolulu Bay Luxury Villas in Kauai. It was on a different island, a 45-minute flight from Maui. I explained my situation to the woman on the phone, keeping it vague. I need a private bungalow for 7 nights, something quiet. She understood immediately. I have the perfect spot, she said. Beachfront, completely secluded. $4,000 for the week, all inclusive. I gave her my credit card information. Then I packed my suitcase. Before I left, I wrote a note. I left it on the bed in the villa right in the middle, where Sarah could not miss it. "Sarah, I booked this resort for our honeymoon, not for your friends. Since you have chosen to spend our honeymoon with them instead of me, I am taking the rest of the trip I paid for to actually have a vacation. You are free to stay with your friends. The villa is paid through checkout. Do not contact me unless you are ready to have an honest conversation. Stephen." I took an Uber to the airport and caught the next flight to Kauai. I did not tell Sarah where I was going. I did not block her number, but I did not answer it either. For 4 hours I watched my phone light up with her calls, 15 missed calls. Then the text started. "Where are you, Stephen? This is not funny. Everyone is asking where you went. You are embarrassing me. How could you just leave? I waited until I was checked into my new resort, sitting on a different beach, drinking a coconut water, before I responded. Just one text. I am embarrassing you. Check your social media. You told everyone I abandoned you when you spent 6 days with your friends instead of your husband. I have screenshots of everything. Enjoy your group vacation. Her response came fast. Multiple texts, one after another. Wait, what screenshots, Stephen? I can explain. I did not mean those posts. I was just venting to my friends. Please come back. We can talk. I did not reply. Then I did something I never do. I opened Facebook and wrote a post. I am not a social media person. My last post before this was probably a year ago, but this time I needed the truth out there. A lot of people have been asking about my honeymoon after seeing some posts from my wife's friends. I want to set the record straight with facts, not drama. One, I saved for 12 months and paid $12,000 for a private honeymoon for 3 days before our wedding, my wife told me she invited 6 friends for the entire 14-day trip without asking me first. 3, I tried to make it work, but for 6 days, my wife spent every moment with her friends. She did not come back to our villa. Every couple's activity I planned, she turned into a group event. 4, when I asked for alone time, I was called selfish and needy. 5, while I was sitting alone in our honeymoon villa, her friends posted that I abandoned her. I did not abandon anyone. I paid for a honeymoon for my wife and me. When that did not happen, I took the trip I paid for. I have all receipts, messages, and booking confirmations. I am not asking for sympathy. I am just asking that the truth be told. I attached screenshots, the booking confirmation showing 2 guests, Sarah's text from 3 months before saying just us 2, Jessica's post calling me out, a photo I had taken of the empty chair across from me at that romantic dinner timestamp showing day 1 of our honeymoon. I hit post. Then I turned off my phone and went for a walk on the beach. When I turned my phone back on 2 hours later, the post had gone viral. 1,200 shares, 500 comments. Most of them were supportive. Dude, you deserve better. Who brings 6 people on a honeymoon? The audacity to call him selfish when she is the one who changed plans. Screenshots do not lie. She is gaslighting him. Some people tried to defend Sarah, but they got shut down fast. Jessica deleted her original post, but people had already screenshot it. Amanda's story got reported for false information. Then Sarah called. I answered this time. She was sobbing. You are ruining my life, she screamed. Everyone is turning against me. How could you post that publicly? I kept my voice calm. You posted lies about me publicly first. I just corrected the record with facts. If the truth ruins your image, that is not my fault. What do you want me to do? She asked. I want you to be honest, publicly. And then we will talk about whether this marriage can even continue. I hung up. I spent 7 days in Kauai, 7 days of actual peace. The first 2 days I slept more than I had in months. I ate breakfast slowly, looking out at the ocean. I read a book about Stoic philosophy that I had packed but never opened. I did not check my phone every 5 minutes. On day 3 I went snorkeling. I saw sea turtles gliding through the water, graceful and unbothered. I felt like them moving through something heavy, but finding moments of lightness. That evening I met a couple at the resort restaurant. Mark and Linda, both in their 50s, on their second honeymoon. They were celebrating their 10th anniversary of their second marriage to each other. They had been married once before to other people, both divorced, both found each other later. They saw me sitting alone and invited me to join them. Over drinks I told them a little of what happened, not everything, just enough. Linda reached across the table and squeezed my hand. Sometimes the wrong person teaches you what the right person looks like, she said. That sentence stayed with me. Days 5 and 6 I journaled. I wrote down everything I had been feeling but had not said out loud. I wrote about the red flags I had ignored, how Sarah always prioritized her friends over me, even before the wedding, how she cared more about how things looked online than how they felt in real life, how she had never not once asked me how I really felt about things. She just assumed I would go along with whatever she wanted. I wrote until my hand cramped. And somewhere in all that writing, I realized something. I was not angry at Sarah anymore. I was sad. Sad for both of us. We were not right for each other. Maybe we never had been. On the 7th day, my last morning in Kauai, I woke up before sunrise. I walked down to the beach and sat in the sand, watching the sky change colors. Pink, then orange, then that brilliant gold that makes everything look possible. I felt light. Not happy exactly, but free. Free from the weight of trying to make someone love me the way I needed to be loved. Free from pretending everything was fine when it was not. I was not scared of what came next anymore. I flew back to Seattle 3 days after Sarah had returned. She had posted a public apology on Instagram while I was in Kauai. I owe my husband an apology. I made poor decisions on our honeymoon and hurt someone who deserved better. I am sorry, Stephen. It had thousands of likes. But I knew that apology was not real. It was damage control. She posted it because the internet turned against her, not because she truly understood what she had done. When I got home, Sarah was waiting at our apartment. She tried to hug me. I stepped back. "We need to talk," I said. "Really talk. Not for social media. For us." We sat on opposite ends of the couch and talked for 3 hours. Sarah admitted things I do not think she had ever said out loud before. She said she wanted to show off to her friends, wanted them to see she had the perfect wedding and the perfect honeymoon. She got so caught up in the image that she forgot about the reality. She did not realize how much she hurt me until she read comments from strangers telling her she was wrong. I told her I did not know if I could trust her again. "You did not just ruin our honeymoon," I said. "You lied about me to people we know. You made me into a villain to protect your image." "I do not know if I can forgive that," Sarah cried. She asked for another chance. I told her I needed time. "I am moving to my brother's place for a month," I said. "We will do couples therapy. But I am not promising anything." We did therapy. 3 months of weekly sessions. Sarah learned she had issues with seeking validation from others. I learned I had enabled her behavior by always giving in, never setting boundaries. We both learned how to communicate without attacking. But we also learned something harder. We wanted different things. Sarah wanted a life full of constant social activity, always surrounded by people. I wanted peace, intimacy, quiet moments. Neither of us was wrong. We were just wrong for each other. 4 months after the honeymoon, we decided on a separation. It was sad, but it was not angry. We split our assets fairly. Sarah kept the apartment. I moved out. We filed for divorce. It was peaceful, no drama, no fighting. We just let each other go. 6 months after that disaster of a honeymoon, I am in a better place. Sarah is too, from what I hear through mutual friends. She is dating someone new, someone who loves the same social lifestyle she does. She deleted all the posts about me. She made her Instagram private. I think she learned something from all this. I hope she did. I found a small apartment overlooking Puget Sound. I focus on my work. I joined a hiking group and met people who actually want to spend time in nature instead of just taking pictures of it. I am happier. Not because Sarah is gone, but because I finally chose myself. That day I booked a different resort was not about revenge. It was about finally putting my own needs first. That honeymoon taught me something crucial. You can love someone and still be wrong for each other. I do not regret marrying Sarah. I regret not listening to my gut sooner. When someone shows you their priorities, believe them. Do not wait for a honeymoon disaster to figure it out. The person you need to rescue on your honeymoon might just be yourself. So here is what I want to know. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt invisible in your own relationship? Drop a comment below and share your story. I read every single one. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button. It helps more people find these real-life lessons. Subscribe to the channel because I share more stories like this, stories about standing up for yourself when it matters most. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, someone who always puts others first and forgets about themselves, share this video with them. Sometimes we all need a reminder that choosing yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope wherever you are, whatever you are going through, you remember that you deserve to be someone's priority, not their backup plan. Take care of yourself out there.